Okay, awesome. All right, so we wanted to talk, and Cynthia, I'm glad you're on here, and I hope you don't mind. I'm not gonna pick on you a little bit in a sense, and I don't know if you want to unmute and share a situation, but you asked a question last week that we didn't really get to give a full answer to, so I wanted to circle back to it this week, because I think a lot of people truly struggle with this, and it was, how do you show your value when you're talking to the potential clients? And I don't know, Cynthia, if you have a specific situation or if anybody has a specific situation that happened that you want to share that we can go into some more details on, because I'm happy to do that as well, or I'm happy to just talk on this topic. And I see
Hey,
you unmuted. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So I think, and I'm trying to remember because so much has happened between last week and this week. Um,
Understandable.
when, for me, because I don't really have any experience as a bookkeeper, and I'm still trying to figure out what my value is and how do I project that value when I'm speaking to a customer that, like the question I had a contact or someone prospect. And he asked me, how many years of experience you have? And I'm just like, so I don't, and then I just freeze up. So how do I deal with that when they're looking for somebody who has experience? They want to make sure that their books are in the good hands.
Okay, so yeah, totally understandable. So I have several comments on that specific question. So I'm going to tell you that's one of those one-off questions that I have rarely gotten asked. So it's not something that, so this person did ask you that specifically, but it's not something that's going to come up all the time. So don't let that scare you. I don't know your background specifically, Cynthia. So this is what, and if you want to share, that's fine as well. But I had no bookkeeping experience.
hmm
Do
I'm
you have?
I'm a lab tech, and
Okay.
healthcare is but I love data. Data to me, it doesn't matter whether it's business data or whether it's results or control data, or I love charts and things like that. So it to me, bookkeeping from lab tech to bookkeeping, I don't know, it doesn't seem that much different. It's just more numbers.
Correct. And just in a different format and all the things. So look, you're showing me your value just by saying that. So I think you're letting that scare you, that question in general scare you, because they may not be specifically looking for somebody who necessarily has bookkeeping. They just know you have more experience and you have more people in your corner than what they do, obviously, because they're reaching out for you. I didn't have bookkeeping experience whenever I first started. One thing, so again, I have several things to say on this topic, but one thing somebody told me in the beginning of my business was you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So I used that to go into every single conversation with, what can I learn from this experience? So even that conversation where that person asked you, how many years of experience do you have? That's a learning experience. So if you took nothing else away, now the next person that asks you, now you're going to know how to handle that question. So maybe that person just wasn't meant to be your client. So keep that in mind as you're going in and having these conversations with these potentials. Another thing, you know what you would do for these potential clients. So keep that in mind as well. So like I knew me going in that if when I got my first client, there was no way I was going to turn over wrong information to them or do things incorrectly, screw things up, anything like that. So I knew I had that confidence in myself to be able to portray that to a client. And keep in mind, just like you said, you're not doing like you're doing data entry from a lab tech perspective. You can tell them those things. Like I am just starting my bookkeeping business, working for myself, but this is what I've done for X amount of years. So I'm very detailed oriented. I'm very like a numbers person and all the things. Another thing that I've made sure of is you have coaches, you have mentors in your corner to ask questions to. So I've always made sure people knew that. Yes, you might be my very first client, but I have people who've done bookkeeping for years that I can ask the questions to that can make sure that I'm doing things correctly and stuff. And I knew I wasn't going to turn over something without having somebody look at it first, make sure I did it right.
Right.
Wasn't doing it incorrectly. So have that confidence in yourself and the people that's in your corner when you go in and have these conversations, if that makes sense. And just think about, from a lab tech perspective, what are things that you do there that translate into bookkeeping? So numbers, obviously, the data entry, like you're obviously very detail oriented, like all those things, because those are things that you bring to the table that you're going to bring to the table as a bookkeeper too, that are going to provide value.
Okay, that's all good. Well, I have a event that I'm going to, a networking event that I will be going to in, is it on the 23rd? So it'll be my
Okay,
first networking event, and I'm just
awesome.
excited about it. And so this gives me enough confidence that when I'm with introducing myself to the community where I live, to be able to express, hey, I'm good with numbers. I've always been good with numbers. I love charts. I validate data. I make sure that what it makes sense, that this result or is going to make sense for you. And I would not turn
Yep,
over anything to anybody, especially
exactly.
when it has to do with your life or the life of your business.
Yep. And like you're dealing with people's lives all day being a lab tech. So
Yes.
100%. Another like thought on that, I heard a real estate agent, and this could translate into what we're doing as bookkeepers as well. A real estate agent, she went to go sell like her very first house, or try to get somebody to let her sell the very first house. And they made the comment, why would I let you do it? You've never sold houses before. Like, this is your first one. How do I know I can trust you? And she made the comment, because I want to succeed so badly at doing this, I need this business to work for me, that I'm going to give it everything I have to make sure this works. So you're going to get 110% from me, because you are my first client, because I want this to work. So keep that in mind as well, because I'm sure that's the case with you. Like, you want your business to succeed. Whatever your why is, whatever your goals are, you want to accomplish that. So you're going to give them everything you have, and being your first client, they're getting your full attention. So you have a good review and all the things.
Thank
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully that's helpful for everybody. The biggest thing is, if you go into the conversations with confidence, you ask them tons of questions. You asking them questions is you taking the lead of the conversation, and kind of taking away from them having a chance to ask you too many questions, in a sense, almost. So try to find out as much information as you can about their businesses. What do they do? What did they what are they looking for in a bookkeeper? Things along those lines. You have control of the conversation, and you sound and feel more confident when you have control of that conversation. But if you're confident in yourself, they're going to see that, they're going to feel that when you're having these conversations with them, for sure. Just make sure that you're confident in you when you're going into this. Tons of mindset work, because I can tell you, like I said, no bookkeeping experience. So that is super hard to do when you don't have the confidence in yourself. Some people are just naturally confident. They grew up that way, like they had parents that constantly encouraged them, those types of things. Other people, it takes a lot to believe in you, and you've just had that negative mindset or different type of mindset. So it's important to make sure that you're working on that as you're trying to sell yourself as a business owner, whether it's the bookkeeping services or any part of your business, for sure. So the biggest thing, y'all, just go into, remember what, as you're having these conversations with them, find out what their pain points are, because every different potential is coming to you for a different reason, typically. Some of them are going to be, they're looking to get more time back. Some of them need financial statements done to be able to get a loan for their business. Some just want financials to be able to file their taxes. Some need it to make different financial decisions, like all the things. So as they're coming to you and they're asking these questions, or they're telling you their pain points, make sure you are reiterating that to them again, like that, hey, I can help support that. When you're reminding them of their pain points, and that you can help support them in those specific pain points, that's super helpful to them, and for them to see the confidence in you. That usually helps remind them, especially if you're sending them a quote back and all the things, like how urgent this is for them to get to sign you on as a bookkeeper and all of the things. So just take note of their pain points. One thing that I do when I'm having a conversation with potentials, if they say a pain point, like a specific situation, or as I'm doing their bookkeeping, even in a specific situation comes up, use that in your marketing material as well, because now you have some pain points from clients in specific situations that you can talk on. And if that one person has it, there's going to be other people who can relate to that as well. So what can you, again, go into every conversation, what can you learn from this conversation? It's not necessarily I have to sell myself, I have to get this client, like all the things, even though a lot of times we do. Totally get that, been there. But what can you learn from this situation? Whether they're going to be a client or not, there's always something that you can learn from that conversation that you've had with them. And again, even if it's just, hey, I can make a post because they came to me and said they overpaid in taxes this year and their bookkeeping was incorrect, or whatever the case is, whatever they say specifically. So definitely take note of that and you use it for marketing purposes, but also circle back to it in the conversation that you're having with them. I, especially in the beginning, when I started meeting with potentials, again, I started my business in 2019, so it was pre-COVID. So a lot of my first discovery calls were in-person meetings, essentially. So I would literally have a list of questions with me that I wanted to ask the clients. So that way I never lost track. Didn't get nervous. Like I knew what I was going in to ask them. So what are their goals with their business? What were they looking for specifically in a bookkeeper? Because a lot of people, when they come, they might say, hey, I need a bookkeeper. But maybe they're just looking for somebody to do payroll for them or something. So you just want to make sure that you're asking those specific questions. What are they looking for? What did they love about their last bookkeeper? What are they looking for in a new bookkeeper? Maybe they've never had a bookkeeper and they don't know what that relationship's going to look like. And also remember though, like a lot of times we worry about what their response is going to be because of comments they made, and what we're thinking might be a lot of money to them may not be. They may be expecting that price point or something, or maybe they're expecting more. Like you really don't know what a lot of money is to them specifically. So don't get in your head about that going into the conversation. Have the conversation with them, say it. And then one thing, give them the prices and wait for a response from him. Because we've had somebody in the group quote a 25, I want to say it was 25, it might have been $28,000 cleanup job, thinking they're going to come back and be like, no, there's no way I can do it. She gave him the price. She said nothing else after that. And he came back and he paid for it because he knew he needed to do it and it had to be done. Don't get in your head so much until let him make those decisions. Don't make those decisions for him, essentially. Let him tell you no if he doesn't want to or whatever. Have the conversation, let him know, find out, get all the information you need to give him a good price, give him the price. Then if he comes back and I can't pay that all at once, then you can, okay, we can do 3 months at a time. We can have those next conversations after that.
Just some encouragement as you guys are quoting clients. It does become an art. But having a compass really makes it easier to quote so that you represent the value that you do bring. I know it's really easy to see on Facebook, hey, you can't just be offering bookkeeping services, things like that. But bookkeeping alone is a needed service. If you look at some big companies like QuickBooks Live Bookkeeping or Bench or things like that, they are primarily providing bookkeeping services, and they grew just providing that service. Or they added that service because there's value in that service and they can make money in that service. So in QuickBooks case, they're a software company, but they recognize that they have a pool of business owners that they can also serve with additional services. And that includes taxes, bookkeeping, all of those things. The same with Bench. I think that Bench partners with tax preparers, a tax company now as well. But they grew doing bookkeeping first. So do not feel like you have to add value. You do not have to add a bunch of services or be a virtual assistant or cater to the these business owners who just need help running their businesses. You add value by doing bookkeeping. You really do. So I just wanted to leave that note of encouragement.
But the doors are open on the pro program. We do have the group coaching calls. We have the 2 1-to-1s that are included in that program. So you get those, and then the course and everything that's included in the course, templates, just there's so much.
Yeah, and
So much training.
any of these webinars and stuff that we do, so we do open those doors for everybody, so anybody can purchase those if they want. But if you're in one of our programs, you get those for free. So you would have access to those without any additional fees or anything if you were in the pro program. So just FYI.
I did want to hop in. I'm gonna do that video that you guys asked me, but I definitely love this program. If you are not part of it, I'm a very experienced accountant and I opened my own company, and this completely accelerated everything for me. I went from talking to them in September with 0 clients and I'm having calls and it's not working, to now I have actually 7 clients, and it's so good. They are so good. The courses are great. You can always go look back and revisit everything. So if you're not in it, I highly recommend it.
Thank you for that, Eva. We appreciate that. And it's been so awesome to see your success and everything. And you said 7 now?
Yes, and I'm working on 2
Yay.
more, so that's exciting.
Goodness,
Awesome.
yes.
That's why I've been MIA. I'm like trying
You
to
don't have
just get
time.
everybody onboarded and settled.
Yes, most definitely. You might need to start hiring soon. We can help you with that too.
Yes, and I need to actually, I have a one-on-one with Sherry that Monday, so I have a ton of questions I'm going to ask her about it.
Looking forward to it.
Is that a one-time fee or a monthly subscription? So yes, we have that set up on, you can do it either. So you can, it's a 12-month program. You can pay in full for the 12 months, or you can pay it monthly. We also, don't we have the financing? I don't remember what it was called. There's a financing thing on the website.
Yeah, so when you go to check out, there's actually financing
Narnia.
options there
Yeah.
that are pretty cool. So you can check those out.
Yeah. So there's
yeah.
several different options for that program. But yeah, anybody else have any questions? You're welcome. Feel free to message us if you want to chat more about it or anything. Again, I'm happy to hop on a call with y'all and make sure we give y'all the support that y'all, or get y'all in the program that will support y'all the way y'all need it. All right. I guess that's it. Thank y'all so much. And definitely let us know if y'all have any other questions or anything. Feel free to reach out or post in the group. Y'all have an awesome week. Bye.
Okay.